Hello guys, TavHD here and welcome back to another video, and this video is about the 2007 MacBook Pro which I bought on eBay. I bought it as not working with suspected graphics card problems, and when I turned it on, that is exactly what it has. It seems like the graphics have indeed failed. So today we are going to try a fix. Basically, you wrap the computer up in a load of blankets until it overheats, then you turn it off, let it cool down, then you turn it on again and it may have fixed itself. Now you've got to keep in mind this is a temporary fix. If it fixes it at all, there's no guarantee that this will work, and if it does work, there is no guarantee for how long it will stay working. So don't do this and then sell the computer on eBay as fully working. If you were going to sell it as fully working, you would have to then put in the description that it's only been temporarily fixed with this method. Also, don't do this, make it work and then do loads of work on it with critical files, because you'll probably end up losing them all when the computer fails again. Eventually, these will all fail again. That is just the truth with these 8600M GT MacBook Pro. So let's take it out of the box. I'll turn it on straight away just to show you the problems that it is indeed having, so then you can check to see if yours is having the same problem, and maybe doing this to it might help. Okay, so here is the machine. I've taken the battery out because it's pointless being in it, it doesn't work. So I've got a charger here, MagSafe 1 of course. I'll connect that. Let's turn it on and see what happens. There we go, that is indeed graphics failure. Now, we may get the Apple logo and it may look like it is booting up, there we go, but it will just crash and hang there forever. There's no way to get off this screen unless you just turn it off. As you can see, it is loading right now, but it will indeed freeze. So let's just turn it off. And now, let's try this method of fixing. Okay, so I've got myself a blanket, I've got myself the computer, and I've got the charger. So basically what we're going to do is thermal shock the machine. So we're going to turn it on and open the lid. This one doesn't really like to open, but there we go. It's coming on by itself this time. There we go, it is now on. And what we're going to do is wrap up the entire base of the computer. And I should probably say, I don't particularly recommend doing this. It's sort of a last resort if your computer is broken. This isn't really a tutorial, and if something does set on fire or something like that, sorry, but it's not really my fault. So I'll put the blanket down, put the computer on the top, and then just wrap up the base. There we go, I would say that computer is pretty wrapped up. Now, in the video Luke Miani made about this a couple of years ago, I will leave a link to that in the description, he then put the laptop facing down like that with the screen hanging over the edge. So I will do the same. That is indeed pretty covered up, you probably can't even see that, but it is now completely wrapped with the display hanging off the end. And now I'm going to have to leave this here quite a while to allow it to heat up, so I think about 45 minutes to an hour should do the trick. Alright, it's only been about 10 minutes. I've actually put another blanket on top and it's already starting to feel pretty hot under there now. I know that it has to get very, very hot for this to apparently work, so I'm just going to keep checking on it, but it's still turned on at the moment. Everything seems to be going fine. I'm a bit concerned it might set on fire, so I do have a fire extinguisher underneath the tripod just in case, but it should be fine. It is very, very hot already though. It's only about as hot as my MacBook Pro gets when I'm exporting a 4K video. Of course, Apple computers are kind of known for getting hot, but this one hopefully will get very, very hot, and hot enough to solve the problem. Alright, another little update. There's about 25 minutes left until it has been an hour, and I can now feel the heat coming out from the blanket. And if I touch the actual machine, it's getting to the point where if I keep my finger on for more than 1 or 2 seconds, it is painful. So it's getting very, very hot indeed. But a new development is that I can actually hear the fans spinning louder than before. I'm not sure if it will pick up on camera or not, but they have slightly raised to help with the cooling. Now, when I started this, the fans were just at their lowest setting, and I think the way that the laptop had crashed meant that there was no control over the fans, so maybe we are making some form of progress and now it's got control over the fans. I don't know, it's just a guess. I know I'm kind of being hopeful, but I do hope that this does fix it, even if just for a little while, because I would like to have a look at the contents of this computer and have a bit of a play around with it, but who knows. I'll let it have the full time, let it cool down, and then we will see. Alright, so the hour is now up. What we now need to do is just take the blankets off. This is indeed incredibly hot. I'm going to just unplug it. It's now turned off and we're just going to let it cool down. Wow, that's actually burning me. Leave it like that for a little while and let it cool down. It smells extremely hot. It definitely has got very, very hot. The lid is warm, but the back is even hotter. That's probably the hottest I've ever felt a computer, and my MacBook Pro gets very hot. The inside is also very, very hot. Hopefully this has worked, but there's no real way to know. All we've got to do is wait for this to now cool down. My MagSafe charger is very hot as well. I hope that still works. So yeah, I'll come back once I've let this cool down for a bit. Alright, I've now edited up to the point of the video you have just seen. The laptop is now cold to the touch, so I think it's time to turn it on and see if we have made any progress. Okay, so here is the computer. I've just put it back facing normally on my desk, and I'm actually a little bit nervous to see if this has worked or not. It's not like it cost me a lot of money or anything like that. It would just be a shame to know that this computer is completely dead. So I've got the power cable. My MacBook Pro is watching from over there to see what's going on. So now let's plug it in and press the power button. Oh, and look at that, we've got an Apple logo. We've not got any of the artifacting. It's loading. Oh wow, look, it's come on. I'm gonna have to blur that out. It's logged straight onto the desktop of the person who owned this. That's a bit weird. The computer's clock is set before 2008. Okay, wow. This has actually come on. All this is gonna have to be blurred out because there's people as the background, and I now know the name of the person this belonged to, but I'm probably not allowed to say that. So it looks like this was a woman's machine. The person I bought it from, I think, was a man. So were they selling it on behalf of that person? I don't know. I don't know what to do with this, actually. There's a folder on the desktop which you can't see, which is labelled Uni, with images from museum. There's a lot of images from 2016. So it looks like this computer was used up until a couple of years ago. That's nice to see, actually, that it was still getting used. There's also a folder called Teaching here as well, which has got something from 2015 in it. It's got a crossword about food and animals, which is rather interesting, but wow. I can't believe it. This thing's actually turned on. And there was no password on it. That's absolutely incredible, but also a bit weird, because I've now got access to some random person's files. And maybe this is the only copy of those files in existence. Maybe they didn't have a backup, although it does look like Time Machine has been set up at some point because the logo is in the dock, but you can't see it. It's all blurred out. So I think I'm going to change the background and then you can see what's going on. Okay, I've now changed the background. I must say, I feel very weird. It seems almost like I am intruding on this person's computer. I'm not sure I like it. Let's just go in and have a look at about this Mac. I'm not sure if you will be able to see this, but it says Mac OS 10 version 10.6.8, so this is Snow Leopard. Processor 2.2 GHz Intel Core 2 Duo, 2 GB of 667 MHz DDR2 RAM. Okay, let's go to more info. There's some more info here, of course. Let's just have a look at some of these things. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, but this thing seems to be working, or at least for now. Of course, the graphics may go again. In fact, they probably will go again. Who knows when that will be, but at least I know that I can temporarily fix it again if needs be. Now, I'm going to do a whole separate video on looking on this computer, just looking if there's any cool files on here. I can see there's quite a lot of programs on here. We've got some Adobe CS6 stuff, which is pretty interesting, so that will be a separate video. But something I have noticed is the keyboard does not work. I can't control the brightness, it won't light up, and also if I go and try and type anything, it just does not do anything. So I'm going to turn it off, just check if anything's disconnected, and if it is, maybe we can plug it in and then maybe the keyboard will work. Shut this down, hopefully it will turn back on again. Okay, so I've just taken a look in the compartment where the battery should be, and I'm not sure if this is the keyboard cable. It's not connected, it should be connected underneath this plastic cover. I think that's the trackpad one there, but this one's not connected, so I'm going to try sliding that in and see if that fixes our keyboard. Oh, you'll never guess what I've just bloody fixed. Look up there. The keyboard works. The cable was just unplugged, so I've just slotted the keyboard cable back in, and now it's working absolutely fine. This is awesome, and seeing this screen on without any artifacting, it's an incredible looking display considering how old this is, and it's of course before the retinas. I think this looks awesome. So there we are. On this particular occasion, cooking the computer did indeed fix the graphics. Now, I shouldn't be too happy because they probably will die again. It might be later today, it might be later this week, it could be later this month, or it could be later this year, or even into another year. Who knows, but they probably will go again. But maybe if they do, we can try this and bring them back to life. But of course, there's no guaranteeing it. I've had a quick look and there seems to be quite a lot of cool things on here to look at. So that will be it for this video, and I will make a separate one for a couple of weeks time where we have a look through this computer and have a look at what's on it. So thank you for watching this video, and yes, this method does indeed work. Of course, it may vary, it may not work for you, or it might, but this is absolutely awesome. It's displaying no problems, it's running very smoothly, and I'm very impressed indeed. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one, which will be about a different Macintosh which I have bought. So I will see you then. Goodbye.